Hey guys, this video is going to be just slightly different than my regular videos because it's going to be mainly talking. We're not going to be replacing anything or showing you how to replace anything. We're just going to be talking about a very common problem on small engines and a few reasons that causes it and how you would go about fixing it. I do have a lot of repair videos on here on YouTube that would show you how to do this. But a very common problem is with small engines when you be out cutting grass and the motor gets good and hot. Your motor will shut off and don't want to start up again. And a lot of people will assume that it's vapor lock. And what vapor lock is, it's carburetor related. And essentially the heat from the engine makes the carburetor heat up and the gas boils out through the vents and everything before the fuel can be drawn into the engine. While it does happen on small engines, it used to be a real common problem on vehicles, but with small engines, most of the time it's your coil breaking down. And if you don't have a new magnetron coil, it might just be your condenser, when your points and condenser breaking down, because the condenser is just a capacitor. If it gets hot, it's going to change the capacitance of it, and it can cause the circuit not to work right. But if you got a newer magnetron coil like this, they have transistors and stuff inside here, and it can actually just shut off. So if you're cutting grass and your motor shuts off just like you turn the key switch off and won't start up again, chances are it's your coil going bad. And an easy way to check it is get you an inline spark plug checker like this and run the engine, cut grass with it. Then when it acts up, like it shuts off, crank it over and look at this. If this is not lighting up, then you lost spark. It can also be your spark plug on it too. So if you light this up, if this is lighting up and it still ain't running, change your spark plug, because your porcelain could be cracked or something. And when it heats up, it's allowing it to arc inside. And usually it's the coil. And if it's an older engine, it could be the condenser, like I said a while ago. But most of the time, it's not vapor lock. It can be. And if you shut your engine off while you're cutting grass and it don't want to start and it's still sparking and you got a new spark plug, I say you are vapor locked. And the only thing you can do is just wait till it cools down. Sometimes you can choke them to make it force the fuel out, but a lot of times it just don't work. And if that's what happened, I would be checking your cooling fins and stuff on your engine, because it could be running way too hot. That's usually the only time they'll do that, and it could be what's causing your coil to break down too, if your engine's not cooling off good enough. But usually once the coil starts doing that, it's gone. It needs to be replaced. And this is for like a single cylinder 12 horsepower Briggs. And if you want to upgrade from points and condenser to the newer type of coil, this will bolt right on, and you hook your shut-off wire to this. That's just a few ways to check it. And like I said, most of the time it is going to be spark related instead of carburetor related. I always check for the spark problem first and go from there. But if your fuel mixture ain't right, your engine's going to be running hotter. That can cause problems too. But and if you got a twin cylinder engine and you're cutting grass and it sounds like one cylinder shut off, then comes back on and shuts off, you got one bad coil on there. You can replace just that one coil. But I would recommend replacing both coils, because if one's acting up, then the other one, chances are it's on its way out too. You'd be better off just to change both of them to be on the safe side. And Kawasaki engines are bad about that. I've seen it happen a lot on them. But it can be any engine. I mainly work on Briggs and Stratton, and it is a fairly common problem, to be honest about it. And it's a simple fix. You just got to pull your, I got videos on how to do it, but you just pull your flywheel shroud off and set your clearance on this and tighten it down and hook everything up, and most of the time you're good to go. And you can get these aftermarket coils off eBay for about $10 to $15 depending on your engine, and I think this was like 11. But yeah, it's just some things to check for if your engine's shutting off on you and don't want to start back up. And one other more rare problem that would cause an engine to shut off and not want to start up again when it's hot, if you don't have any compression when it does that, and you get compression when it cools off, it could be your valve clearances are set too tight, And when the metal expands, the valves aren't closing, so you're losing compression. It's a more rare problem, but I have seen it happen before. But it's usually spark related 90% of the time. But that is something else to take into consideration if you lose compression when the motor gets hot. It could be that. And that's a pretty simple fix. You just reset the valve clearance and you should be good to go again. But yeah, it's just something I've been wanting to talk about. I get asked about it a lot, and that's how I diagnose it. If it's acting up and don't want to start and this is not lighting up, then you lost your coil when it gets hot. But that's just some things to look for on it. And if you got any questions or comments, feel free to leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.